Welcome everyone to our service this morning and everyone online. If you haven't done so already, please silence your phones. Reverend Shaw is back with us this morning. And her talk today will be a continuance of the deep dive into the love principles. And this week, the subject is Problems Are Opportunities. Our musical guest this morning is Melissa Floyd. Welcome back, Melissa. Melissa. She's outside. There she is. Okay. She will be accompanied by the incomparable Carol Roman. And Carol, I think you have something you'd like to say to us this morning.
Yes. Good morning. Some of you may have noticed that in the e-blast, there is a concert coming up. It is my milestone birthday concert, and you are invited. So it is October 18th. It's in the evening. The concert will be from 7 to 8:30, and there will be a dessert reception, actually a champagne dessert reception afterward. And I'm featuring a couple of people you might know. Tina Meeks, Harold Payne, Kelly Corsino, and Marlene Barber. All the music will be mine, so they will be singing not all of my music, but I picked some things that I think you're going to enjoy. It'll be a very fun concert. It is a formal concert, so ladies, this is your time to get out your gowns and look gorgeous. Men, good luck. Now, you can wear a suit. You don't have to wear a tux, but if you have a tux, feel free. This is just your moment. Bow ties would be awesome, but you can wear a regular tie. If it has bling and sparkle, even better. It's going to be a fun evening. There is a suggested love offering of $25 a person to cover concert expenses and to support Unity of Tustin. And I really hope to see you there. There is a sign-up sheet. RSVPs are very important, so because there's a special cake and all kinds of things that are going to happen. So I want to know how many people to plan for. Thank you.
Great. Sounds like it's going to be a wonderful evening. The big reveal, what is the event? What is the special event?
It's a milestone birthday concert.
What is the milestone? She must have turned 35. Thank you, Carol. We look forward to that. I want to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about something that happened to me in the last couple of weeks. And some of you know that I have not been here in the last month due to I was having a heart valve replacement surgery. I avoided a major heart attack by about a month, they said. So in that way, it was a blessing in disguise by doing that. But anyway, I had written a letter back to the board and also copied the spiritual ministry team. And I would like to read that to you at this time, if you would indulge me. I entitled it Gratitude. I said, good morning, spiritual family. As I look out now, you are all my spiritual family. I am so grateful for this community. You can't believe all of the support and everything that I felt during the time that I was in the hospital and at home recovering. But anyway, what I said is I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that provided prayers, kind words, and support for me during the recent heart valve surgery. Knowing that you held me in prayer gave me peace and courage during the surgery. I truly believe that your love and support helped me through this and actually set me on the road to recovery. I will admit that directly before the surgery, I was anxious, scared, and felt very uneasy about the procedure I was about to endure. My blood pressure spiked so high that the geriatric nurse warned me that they could not do the operation until I calmed down. I know. At that point, I closed my eyes and I began to breathe. And then I decided to go within. I had a vision of a multitude of prayers of support and compassion, basically from friends, family, but from this community as a whole. These prayers, they felt like kites were flying above me. As I'm laying on the operating table, I'm looking up and I see all these different color kites with all these different color words, compassion, and just everything you can think of that unity stands for. I immediately felt an inner peace that came over me. All I could think was, let go, let God. That's what resonated in my mind. In this moment, I felt the presence of divine spirit surrounding me. I knew that I was safe. I felt warm and supported and held in divine love. I did let go. I surrendered. I trusted, and the surgery was successful. But I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. I feel so blessed to have all of you within my life and to be in your life, and I'll never take your kindness for granted. I really appreciate your support, your prayers, and your compassion with love and gratitude. Thank you very much. And now we're going to sing if you will please rise for the congregational song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Good morning. My name is Jean-Claude Pinto, and I'm a prayer chaplain. And as a prayer chaplain, I get the honor of lighting the Christ candle first and then reading the daily word. So we'll do that. We light the Christ candle to remind ourselves that divine resides within us. So we come here in oneness, in that collective consciousness of divinity, in the presence of divinity. Oh, we have a wonderful daily word today. The word is beautiful. And it says, the world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. That's the affirmation. And the scriptural text is, one thing I asked of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord. That's Psalm 27:4. And the reading, when I'm fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. Looking up at the shimmering stars, walking through the field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean, I rejoice in the beauty of nature. It truly is it truly is a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses always lives in me. The presence of God does not just surround me, it is within me also. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. When I live into the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is simply beautiful. I am a radiant spiritual being, an individuation of the divine. I honor the presence of God within myself and all others. We are beautiful in oneness.
Let's do the affirmation.
Oh, the affirmation, that's right. It was so beautiful and I wanted to miss it. The affirmation, the world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. Together. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. Thank you. Now invite Reverend Shara.
Oh, let's take a moment. We are beautiful. We are so beautiful in here and online. Wow. Doug, you are the poster child of problems or opportunities. You know, Doug is a mentor of mine in how to show up in love, whatever life is offering. And he's a mentor of mine to show how that love brings forward grace beyond our wildest dreams and love beyond our wildest dreams. And as someone who is dating, I will take his role model any day. And whenever I say that, I have to say, remember, ethically, I can't date us. You know? So just always keep that. And on that, girlfriend, don't worry, on my dating profile, I'm forever 49. And I love Carol. So we're praying up in there, and I'm like, I can't wait to come to your birthday party. Thank you for doing this, really spearheading and leading this amazing extravaganza for all of us to co-celebrate with. And I say, you know, now I'm going to have to go buy a dress. And Carol just looks at me and says, yes. So let's bring it. Let's bring our bling and bring our joy and bring our love. And it's been a very special week as well because it's been another milestone. We started our pioneering collaboration with the Center for Action and Contemplation, where 8 of us have gotten together, that power of 8 participants and me, to do a deep dive for the full year with the Center for Action and Contemplation, the first hybrid program in the country that may then in the future be scaled around the country. So we are this sacred laboratory prototype. Very, very exciting. And then Saturday, we had this 5-hour kickoff online that we participated in. That was wonderful. And I have a couple of takeaways, because we will be doing this program through kind of my talk and my presence on kind of on one level, and then the group of us are going to be going very, very deeper, much deeper, and I'm being very influenced by this. So I have an inappropriate joke and a nice opening prayer. So who's up for the joke? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. So a friend of mine goes up to his mom and he says, "Mom, did you take Tylenol while you were pregnant with me?" She thinks about it for a second. She says, "Only when I had a hangover." Okay, and now for the sacred. So the sacred, and this is going to start our opening prayer, is Brian McLaren prayer, and Goes like this. I'm just going to give you a preamble. Feel your feet. Feel your seat. Feel your breath. And feel your heartbeat. And this is our fifth principle. This is the living school, where there is no separation between the sacred and the rest of life. It is all one. And that's what it means to pray without ceasing. When all of life is prayer, where all of life is the curriculum of our soul, and where all of life is the workshop where we get to show up and be in loving relationship to each other. Where two or more are gathered, here I am. So I invite you to continue to drop in and really attune. Feel your feet. Feel your oneness with all of embodied creation, because engaged contemplation is embodied. We are here on earth. Feel your seat. Feel how this creation is always holding us and supporting us. Feel your breath, the mystery and miracle of inspiration, where we are being inspirited at each moment. And feel your heartbeat. That connection, those tentacles that connect us to the one body of Christ, the one fabric of life. And it is in this life, this wild and precious life, that we have the opportunity to love. And this journey into the love principles are helping us to show up as loving presence with each and every relationship. So I invite you to love freely and generously and with abandon. The world needs it. Love without ceasing. Love without counting. Because when we stop keeping score, love wins. And so do you, and so do we, and so does the world. So let's take a deep breath in. Breathe in all the love and breathe out all the love. And so it is, amen. Yes, love wins. Love wins, and we have another very important win to celebrate here at Unity of Tustin. And to help me do that, I will bring up Connie, Erin, and Amanda. Please join me for this lovely big reveal. So, some of you may know that we have been referring to this mysterious aspiration called the preschool for maybe some 2.5, 3 years, when this was just the seed and the idea of mind coming forward, before we had any idea of the plethora of permitting and consulting and bureaucracy and logistical nightmares are involved in creating something from nothing in the county of Orange. But we have practiced our capacity to persevere. We have practiced our capacity to keep moving forward with grit. And last week, we signed a lease with a beautiful tenant, a family operator of Montessori schools with similar values. And we will be beginning the build out and the move out and the chaos before the heaven that comes this month. So this has been an intrepid journey of all of us, but to talk a little bit about what this means to each person in particularly impacted and in particularly part of this heavy lift, I'd like to hear from Amanda, Erin, and Connie.
Well, I feel a little sheepish going first because I was not doing much of the heavy lifting. I was a cheerleader. In fact, one of our first heart circles, Shara made me a salad, and I sit and listened with mouthfuls of lettuce and chicken and smiled and nodded. So, but I'm honored to start this off. I took some notes just to kind of get my thoughts organized because there's so many positives. It's hard to pick a few. So I said, for me, I'm excited about the new vitality the preschool will bring to a space that for most parts of the week sit unused. Think of how special it will be for these littles and their parents to get to experience their first years of education on Unity of Tustin's property. Wow. I mean, imagine that for your kids, for yourself. Logistically, it will help us support future projects and maintain our gardens. Community-wise, it will be bringing more awareness to our location and the Unity movement. I can just see a parent dropping off their little one and then taking a morning stroll through the gardens, stopping by the message board out front and reading all of our flyers of upcoming events, and then one day showing up in here with us. I see positive growth in so many ways. I see us planting seeds of change and making a difference in our local community by providing this service. I, for one, can say I'm feeling the abundant expectancy for all the positive things to come and a great opportunity to apply the love principles we are learning about. We are being the change we want to see in the world. Thank you.
Well, I did not prepare any notes whatsoever. I had been asked to just say a sentence or two, so heaven only knows what will tumble out of my lips here. But I have been involved pretty much from the outset, which, well, it started with all of us thinking, how can we get revenue streams? How can we utilize our grounds the best we can? And the idea of a preschool was a recurrent theme. In 2023, it actually started moving. We submitted an application to the County of Orange to do a changed plan, which would see if we would even be allowed to have a preschool on campus, because that wasn't part of our original permitting or charter. So that started in October 23. It got approved in January 24. We applied to the building department for permitting in June 24. And last month we got that part approved. So we're this close to getting permits issued so that people can actually break ground and start construction. So that's been my part, is shepherding it through the bureaucracy of the county, which is no fun at all. So now I think we're coming to the fun part. I do. So well, no, we're not. There's lots of other things. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. But, you know, Shara will talk about all of the stuff she did with the lease agreement. I mean, it's huge. It's very, very, very involved. But it's coming. It's almost here. And one of the most impacted people on campus is our next speaker, Miss Erin.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Yes. So, I mean, such excitement, right? We have anticipated this for quite some time, and honestly, it's just it's wonderful to just have some forward motion, right? Like, we've kind of been in limbo for so long for the last couple of years, and it's nice just to let's just get it moving. But I do want to speak to the community that I serve, and that's our youth and family. And I want to just say, you know, I know that change is hard. I know that there are some things that we are going to encounter that's going to really take some conscious conversations, and that's okay. I think that the blessing and the gift that's to come from our discomfort is going to benefit the whole in such a bigger and deeper way. So when it comes to our next moves right now is clearing out our classroom that has been there for, I don't know, over 30 years, and preparing the space for this construction. So if anybody likes to, I don't know, Marie Kondo it or anything like that, let me know. Yes, we can certainly use the help. But in closing, I do have just something that I'd like to read. acknowledging the discomfort with the joy, because it's the whole journey. So life often tricks us into prepping for the worst. We imagine obstacles, disappointments, and setbacks long before they even happen. But what if, instead of spiraling into fear, you choose to trust in the possibility of things unfolding beautifully? What if the path ahead holds more joy, abundance, and peace than your mind has ever dared to dream of? The truth is, your imagination can only stretch so far, but the universe often has plans far greater than what you think is possible. So I invite us all to lean into hope, to stay open to blessings, and remember that miracles are born when we allow ourselves to believe in the best outcomes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Blessings. Thank you.
Okay, so any of our kids who are going to come to class with me and Natalie, if you guys can come and meet us in the back.
Good morning, everyone. We are going to sing together a song you will know, and I'm happy to have you join me on this one. This is Waiting on the World to Change. Me and all my friends were all misunderstood. We say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. But we see everything that's going on, and yes, we feel it. Some just think that they don't have the means to rise above and beat it. But let's stop waiting, yeah, and let's be the change. We got to stop waiting, and let's be the change. It's hard to be the system when you're standing at a distance. So let's stop waiting, yeah, and let's be the change. Clap your hands. Now if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would have never missed a Christmas. No more ribbons on the door. But when you trust your television, what you get is what you got. Cause when they own the information, oh, they can bend it all they want. So let's stop waiting, yeah, and let's be the change. Sing, let's stop waiting, and let's be the change. All right, Carol. Keep those hands clapping like this. And let's sing together. Let's stop waiting. So let's stop waiting, yeah, and let's be the change. We got to stop waiting, yeah, and let's be the change. One more time. Let's stop waiting, yeah, and let's be the change. We got to stop waiting, and let's be the change. Now listen, just be the change. Just be the change. Let me hear you. Just be the change. Just be the change. A little louder. Be the change. Let's be the change. Two more times. Be the change. Let's be the change. Thank you so much for singing with us.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Let's be the change. So today we continue our love principles, and our love principles, it's not just about each principle. It's really about the alchemy that comes when we practice the synergy of them all. And today we're focusing on problems or opportunities. And in New Thought, this principle is very foundational to our teachings. It is a kind of foundational New Thought teaching that life is not happening to me. It's happening for me, through me, and as me, right? So this is problems are opportunities. Life is happening for us. So what we may perceive as an obstacle or a challenge usually is a portal for our evolution, for our development, for our unfolding, for our fullness as being a love and wholehearted presence in the world. And again, it's like, but what does this look like in life and not just in words? And I would like you all to think of something in your life that really was a challenge, that maybe was one of the hardest things you've went through, or a shock, or something unexpected, or something that brought you to your knees, or something that put you in a dark night of the soul or in liminal space where the old way came crashing down and the new way hadn't emerged. And it was a challenge. And yet now, looking back, you can see that it's an integral part of who you are, that you might not request, but you can accept and see the wisdom of. Can you think of something in your life like that? Maybe even some big things. And sometimes it might not be something that you would ever want, but you can see how it made you a more compassionate person, or your heart a little bit more soft, or patient, or humble, so we can see the world as participants and not as dominators, right? So I'm going to ask for an experiment. And my experiment is, I'm wondering if you'd be willing to share how something in your life that you thought was maybe one of the worst things has been one of the most meaningful things with a neighbor. And I want you to concentrate on the part of who you've become because of it. So I had this situation that I really had a hard time with, but because of it, I became. So if you could be so courageous, turn to someone next to you. Better if you don't know them. If you've been here a long time, try to find a partner. If you don't want to participate, meditate or ask to witness another dyad. And you'll each have 2 minutes to share your story. And online, feel free to do this on your own and really think of a situation and then share it with someone over the next week. And I'll invite speaker number 1 to start wrapping up their story. And then in a few 10, 15 seconds, switch to speaker number 2. everyone. I invite you to start wrapping up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for taking the risk, sharing your heart, and hopefully that primed the pump. So feel free to continue this conversation in fellowship after service. But this is part of the deal. It's not separate from life, our problems and our challenges. So problems are opportunities, but before we go there, I would like to pan out a little bit and consider that problems aren't even problems. They're part of that tapestry of life. And that's important because if we do not see problems, challenges, obstacles as an inherent part of the human experience, we start to think there's something wrong with us. And I see this among my spiritual brothers and sisters, even though there's no separation between spiritual and everything else, that a lot of times people have the sense, if I were doing life right, this wouldn't be happening, right? Right. And then the corollary of that is, okay, we're all full of shift. You're all full of shift. Shift happens. So, I kind of accept that. But if I were more spiritual, I would be able to handle it with equanimity. That's the other spiritual self-flagellation I see us do a lot. And, I know as earth walkers, our life is to have life bring us to our knees and love anyway. And it's not my opinion. This is informed by our way shower, the life of Jesus. Jesus is our way shower, but we don't want to let him show the way. What's the shortest verse of the Bible? Jesus wept. Jesus wept. So we're not supposed to be so spiritual we stop weeping. We're only to aspire to be present enough so we don't stop loving. And that's prayer without ceasing. How much love can we take? The biggest problem of all is how much love can we stand? And as someone who's dating, that's where the problems start. The problems start when we start to matter to each other, when love starts to be evoked. That can be the most dysregulating force. So I am experiencing my year anniversary of my biggest breakup since my divorce, my biggest heartbreak. And it was about a year ago, and I thought I found my person. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe it. It was so amazing. But yet I was scared and holding back and being coaxed and brought forward. And then finally, I show up and I say yes. And I start telling people and I start telling my kids and I start telling him. And by Tuesday, it was over. And I was devastated and shocked, and I couldn't even believe it. Couldn't even believe it. And it took about 7 months before we could even have a conversation reconciliation. Right? Because he was like, no. You know? I think it scared a lot in him. And I wasn't ready either. I would have taken that relationship and put it right back in my old familiar box. Right? I would have loved to have believed I was ready, but if I was ready, I would have had a different experience in the world. That's Byron Katie. You have to accept what is. And, you know, then that kind of liberated me just enough to have my next micro heartbreak. And that's been like a journey. And what's happened as I'm kind of like feeling into all of this, underneath all of our heartbreaks is the whole heart, right? And that whole heart is God stalking us, asking us to open up, to be available, to say yes, to love anyway. And every now and then, I don't know about you, but I get my Fourth and Walnut moments, my Thomas Merton moments where I feel only love for all of the world. Does that ever happen to you? Do you have states? Now, they don't last, but I get them, and I'm telling you, when you get them, you fan that flame. So I had one yesterday, and I took a 2-hour walk listening to the music that makes me cry, and I swear I was this far from hawks landing on my shoulder. I could feel it. And over the last few weeks, with my heart reopening, I've been revisiting raising my children and seeing them come to me with their innocent joy. And I was warm, good, and present. And many, many times, I would just look at them when they showed me their delight with amazement of how they were showing up as these perfect beings of light and be like, that's a great story, hun. While I am seeing all of it, I was able to do that. But I've been experiencing this beautiful grief these last 2 weeks because I keep getting memories and I wish I could have done it more. I wish I could have done it without ceasing. I wish I could have done it all the time. And I've been feeling really connected to my mother, who's no longer alive, and my ancestors. And I had all this welled up emotion of love. And I call my oldest and I tell her. And I tell them, I say, I am just so alive. I am feeling now all the love I wish I could have given you then. And I just want you to know, and it made Grace really, really happy. This was just about expansion. So after this, I'm having my coffee. I go across the street because there's this booth across in front of the water brewery by my house. The water brewery, by the way, is this place that sells purified, activated, loved water. And there's this woman selling her healing oils and goji balls that taste a lot like Lucky Charms. And I walk up and she says, you have a beautiful heart. And I say, and she's like, I feel you. She says, I just feel your heart so open and alive. And I said, well, I want you to know whatever attunement capacity you have, you're actually right. Because I just had this conversation moments ago with my daughter of how I'm feeling this love through time. And she said, no, I don't have this capacity. You just walked up to me and I started feeling all this heat come out of my heart. And it's like, wow, we can be that for each other. We each, I'm not special. We each, I woke up this morning normal. Okay? Okay. I'm not going to go out in the garden and have the coyotes come sleep at my feet. But we have the capacity to be tuning forks of love for each other. This is our birthright. This is our opportunity. This is our possibility. And we use all of life. All of life is the curriculum of our soul. All of life is the workshop. And we can use all of life for our individual and collective upliftment. And Arlene Lawrence, she gives us some pretty good strategies, practical strategies, because every level has its due. Behind it all is the non-dual, wholehearted wholeness of love already, always existing, right? And that's the true vine. We want to be sourced in that as much as possible so we can be conduits of it in the world. So life is happening for us and love is happening through us. And we start to uplift the world through our life and presence. But sometimes we just need a cheat sheet because this isn't always easy work. So these are some of her very wise ways of doing this. So her first suggestion is when you are in relationship to one of your problems, one of your challenges, move from demanding to questioning. Move from resistance to allowing. Or as we would say in unity, move from appearances to truth. Because in unity, we affirm that the appearance of lack, the appearance of illness, the appearance, under that, the truth is life is a vehicle for our continued movement into God. Okay. So, one thing is to look at the demands that you're saying in your head. And generally, when we're in problem mode, we're saying, this shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. I use that one. Someone needs to fix this. That's when we're in problem consciousness. Our opportunity is to move into opportunity consciousness. And opportunity consciousness is going to say, with curiosity, with softness, with the open hand, what is this teaching me? Because we all know from our starting conversation, we've been through this before. We can trust that on the other side of the crucifixion is a resurrection. That's seeing through the eyes of Jesus. That's seeing through the eyes of Christ. That's seeing through the eyes of love. So what is this teaching me? How is this serving my growth? Even if you're weeping while asking the question. What new capacity is emerging in me? How will I be a more patient human? A more humble human. True humility is expansive. Humble pie is the best food you can eat. But no one's going to order it. That's why it comes as life. And our life is more intelligent than we are. It knows what our soul needs. How is this helping me to be of service to others? Yeah. How do we move past the appearance to the truth of divine possibility in all things? All things. That's one of the first tips. The second is that art of sacred surrender. The art of sacred surrender, which is letting go of your mental picture of how you think it should be. I like to call that letting our little tyrant God go. Because we all have a part of us who believes we know. We know what good people should do. We know how they should act. We know what life should look like. And that is my will. And we surrender and let that go to thy will. So when we let go of our mental picture, we can be open to the greater harmony. And this is our unity principle of non-resistance and trusting in divine order. And divine order often requires that power, the Christ power of release, of elimination. Because when we release, there's flow. So when energy is stuck, it's stagnant and sick. When we release, we allow the flow, and that's where health and wellness and our good comes. And this isn't magic. This doesn't mean the appearance always changes, but how we are in relationship to it will change. And sometimes the appearance does change, but that's not up to us. That's not up to us, because there's no, we got to move away from, if I do it right, my life will be easy in the way I picture it to be easy. We have to forgive ourselves for believing that life is that small. It loves us too much. Spirit loves us too much to let us control the game. And this comes our prayer. So the prayer, something like this: I pray to be open to the unfolding of my divine good, trusting this experience is serving my highest good in ways I cannot yet see and understand. Yeah. That's a good old-fashioned unity prayer. Another tip that she tells us is love as unblocked heart energy. We talked about that a little bit. And this is where our understanding of Christ consciousness becomes practical. You know, Jesus didn't avoid challenges. He transformed the challenge and allowed himself to be transformed by them. So moving beyond the appearance of crucifixion to the truth of resurrection, and not because he was special in some way that we were not, but simply because he mastered the art of seeing through the eyes of divine love. Jesus does go into despair. He does doubt his own reality, but he stays connected to the faith of the wholeness that emerges in time. This weekend, Randy Woodley said this. He says, it's important that we stay centered, especially in these times where there's a lot of changes that are harmful to people. And yet, you know, what are we to do? What we need to do is show up as love, right? Together, and create the new story from that. And he says, everything always works out. As a Native person, he says, we've known this. He says, as a Native person, we've been colonized for 500 years. And we've learned how to create resilience and love despite whatever context we're in, while not forgetting that we are creating the context we are in. So we have power to create the new story. That's why we come together as well. And there's an unknown here. But he says, everything works out. And if it doesn't work out, it's going to work out. Yeah. So like, hold that tension. Yeah, it's a mature tension. We're not staying on the surface here. Jim Finley talked about how we experience depth deprivation in our culture. And some of these teachings can be applied on a surface level. The same words. Same words, all in divine order. Very surface, very unattuned. You know, if I said to one of you in crisis, this is all in divine order, and you're gonna be grateful for this one day. You're gonna be, well, this is an opportunity for me to find a new minister. And there's also, it's all in divine order. Right? The same words, but a very, very, very different wellspring from where it comes from. So we have to attune to where we're speaking from, where we're living from, where we're praying from, and that's praying without ceasing. That's life as prayer, when we're coming from the true vine, in our messiness, in our imperfection, and in our deep love. So the takeaway, or the summing it up, is that all the problems we're facing are choreographed by the mystery. And every problem we're facing is an interface. It's a portal where our level of consciousness and capacity to love is meeting the invitation to expand. I mean, does it feel true? First we have to say, is it true? And if it's true, can we live from there?
Could you read that again? Do we have time or no?
Oh, yeah, sure. And it wasn't all red, but let me see. That our life is being choreographed by the mystery, and that there's an interface, there's a dance, there's an interplay with our life and our reality. And that every problem or challenge or obstacle is an invitation for us to expand in our capacity to love and show up as loving presence, connected to the true vine. Yeah. So when we talk about there's no separation between spiritual life and all the rest, there's no separation between us and our life. Our life, I always use this from Rudolf Steiner, our soul arises from the horizon. And our job is to meet it with presence, and then we are alchemists. This is how we become alchemists of the heart. By saying yes and meeting life as it arises with presence, trusting that it has within itself the seeds of our own evolution. Someone just sighed. Yeah, like we've been doing too much work, haven't we? We've been trying to figure this out all by our little own selves. Yeah, life is on our side. We're not alone. And I'll end with this inquiry, because I don't have too much to say about it connected from the source. But we're clearly also doing this on a collective level. And, my metaphor of the cicadas is very alive for me. That things arise fast and en masse, and the world can change in ways we can never predict or plan. And what if, to use Erin's beautiful word, which is also a way to make problems opportunities, what if all of this is happening for collective humanity as well? What if there is a resurrection of a new order? What if something's brewing that's just as big from moving from monarchy to democracy as it is from our current world order to something we don't know, but we will create together. No, I know this. And I don't know if it's one of those things that's going to happen like it did with the falling of the Berlin Wall. You know, I lived in Poland in the 90s, partly because I was studying cataclysmic social change. How did we go from communism to capitalism without a world war? Well, actually, it was gracefully. It was more gracefully than anyone thought. People in Poland never thought the communist regime would come down or come down in their lifetime. And things fall from the sky that we cannot predict or plan. One of the things that fell from the sky is Pope John Paul became Pope. And he insisted on going to Poland. The communists said no, and he said, I'm coming anyway. He shows up, they tell him he can't do anything, and he says, well, I'm going to tell the world you're booting me. And they realized they couldn't do that. So then he had a mass. And the mass was illegal, and public congregations were illegal. And 2 million people showed up. And those 2 million people had embodied in their cells their collective power. And there's no going back. So whether it will happen in my lifetime, or whether it seeds my soul as planting for trees under whose shade I shall not sit, our work as a human collective is not close to being done. But there is a movement towards wholeness. And we are creating a new story. And all of this that applies for us so clearly individually, as we learn to identify as the organism of life, as the organism of humanity, it will start to apply to the organism of the collective as well. So take heart, my friends. Yeah. And in the meantime, let's do our work. And let's do it individually, and let's do it together, and let's do it with joy, and let's do it with love. And let's see all of our problems, individually and collective, as opportunities to bring forward the new story and the more beautiful world we all know is possible. Amen. 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 Let's take this into meditation with some more beautiful music. And I invite you to really feel the power of the music. Let it anchor you as you go inside and live it.
I am the wisdom of God. I am the wisdom of God. I am.
And bring your attention to your breath. Feel the chair supporting you, your feet on the ground. Feel your feet, feel your seat, feel your breath, and feel your heartbeat. And really breathe into your feet, the grounding of connection to the earth. Breathe in being supported, held, so that you can emanate your creativity. Breathe into your heart, that heartbeat that connects all of creation. And breathe into the breath itself. Activate with your awareness, your yes to the holiness of your presence in this moment. And now I invite you to bring back to mind a current challenge in your life, individual or collective. Something that's been feeling heavy or stuck or problematic. And now imagine sitting face to face with present attunement with the wisest, most loving version of yourself 5 years from now. Thank them for coming. Allow them to see you, to admire you with the eyes that a pleased parent has for its child. And what would that future self tell you about how this current challenge served your growth? From the eyes of 5 years from now, wise eyes connected to Source, what capacity did what's happening right now call forth? What gift did it make possible? Either for you or for others that you are being called to serve. Take a moment with that. Allow yourself to really imagine the conversation, verbal and nonverbal. If that wise future self isn't telling you something that might happen, they're revealing what's already true, what's already possible, right now, in this moment. You don't need to wait 5 years to access that wisdom. I invite you to see and feel and marinate with those eyes today, right here in the silence. And I invite you back to this beautiful community, this alchemy of togetherness, this microcosm of the new story. I invite you to feel your feet, feel your seat, feel your breath, and feel your heartbeat with gratitude. And we bless all of those on our prayer list here at Unity of Tustin and all of those in our minds and hearts, that they too may have the perspective of their connected, wise self from 5 years from now, also guiding them forward, also seeing more clearly with the eyes of love, and more clearly remembering with all of us that there's no separation between problem and peace, that all is a portal for love, and that all of life and love is holy. Yeah. So as you're ready, come back to this now moment. You may want to stretch a little bit or just move. Anything to make the transition back to real life and welcome our visitors a little bit more organic. Yes. And yeah, let's live it. And with that, I will invite up our honorable platform assistant director, former prayer chaplain director, wise man in disguise, who sometimes peeks through as Elvis himself. The beloved, we're so grateful for you. Inimitable. I'm not done. Wise, holy, humble, and real gifted, John Claude. Yeah.
Thank you. It's such an honor being with all of you here. It's beautiful. Thank you. And it's also a great time to welcome our first-time guests online and here as well, present. We'd like to welcome a new guest in person and online. We are so grateful that you've joined us today. Here at Unity of Tustin, we believe in one God, one heart, many paths. And our mission is to transform lives and inspire people to make a positive difference in our world. We are a fully inclusive community of all walks of life, and would like you to know that whatever your background and wherever you are on your spiritual path, we are glad you're here to continue your journey with us. Our ushers are coming forward with flowers and welcome cards from those who are here for the first or second time. So if you are comfortable in doing so, we invite you to raise your hand so we can recognize you and present you with these gifts. Anybody here for the first or second time? Ah, we got some people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have so many coming today. Wonderful. That's good. We are growing. We're growing. Yeah. Okay. Yes, welcome back there too. Thank you. All right. We invite everyone to join us after the service for food and fellowship around the hospitality table, and make sure to stop by our open door bookshop, reading room, and welcome center. Also, as always, we have our Reiki practitioners wearing green ribbons and our prayer chaplains wearing white ribbons, who will be at the entrance of the meditation gardens, ready to offer prayer and healing support. All prayers are confidential, and we love to pray with you. In addition, there are prayer request forms in the seat backs in front of you and at the table at the garden entrance, where you may leave your request in the prayer box. They will be lovingly held in prayer by our silent prayer team ministry. There's always so much happening here on our campus of consciousness. Please make sure to check your email each Friday for our weekly e-newsletter and visit the welcome table for information about the many upcoming and ongoing classes, events, and opportunities to serve as part of our beloved Unity of Tustin community. And it's time for receiving a love offering. Now is the time for our love offering as we share our financial gifts in support of our ministry. The various electronic ways to give are here on the screen as listed on the card in the seat backs in front of you. We also pass the offering bags to receive in-person donations. In whatever way or form you choose to give, we invite you to briefly hold your hand over the offering bag as it passes along, taking a moment to connect with the spirit of giving. We are grateful for your faith and generosity. And I invite Reverend Shara to do the blessing.
Yeah, just what the work we do here is really countercultural. You know, it's very countercultural to see problems as opportunities. It's very countercultural to love and pray without ceasing. It's very countercultural to give of your treasures to something other than ourselves and our direct families. And yet, this is one of the ways to stay in that flow. I mean, it truly is. It's very hard to create a world that works for all when we want someone else to fund it. So I'm so grateful for this community and our generosity that continues to allow us to survive and thrive in order to be this light in the world. So I am grateful in advance for everyone's generosity to give what you can. It's not something we're taught. And it makes all the difference. And it allows us to be a seed in this new story that is growing a new tree, under whose shade I certainly hope I get to sit. So with such great gratitude for all of your generosity of time, talent, and treasure, let us say our love offering blessing together. Divine love as we blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive in love. And let's have a little bit more music and bring it home.
I invite you all to stand for this last closing song. Just right here, right now. That's all there is right here and now. Just the here and now. Living for today. Just right here, right now. That's all there is right here and now. Just the here and now.
So thank you very much, Melissa, for wonderful music today. Let's give her a hand again, and Carol, and the wonderful accompaniment of Carol. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I want to make one more quick announcement about my concert. Voices of Unity are going to be singing, so be sure to come. In addition to everything else, we have a band, an 8-piece band, 6 singers. It's going to be quite the event.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's see. Okay. So everybody's also remaining standing, and we'll say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God protects us. The presence of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is always there. And remember, problems are opportunities. Okay, thank you.